Would you risk your license to correct one number in a federal record? At 2:17 a.m., a timestamp changed and an 8-year career vanished. They called it a glitch, she called it evidence, and they called security. By sunrise, a rumor outran the truth and policy outranked conscience. Stay with me until the very end, and don't forget to tap like, subscribe, and drop a comment telling us where you're watching from. What follows puts power on trial. You'll see the timestamp, the red folder no one would log, and the badge swipe that rewrites a verdict. Night shift hums like an air vent, soft, relentless. Emily Carter, RN, checks 4 pumps, charts vitals, and fights the drag of 3 o'clock. Her badge lanyard prints tiny moons against navy scrubs. Room 412, Howard Bell, 58, post-op, stable. She documents fluids, notes a mild fever, and submits a MAR adjustment. The EHR spins, confirms. She signs off, unaware that one digit misfiled will soon redraw her entire life. At 7:12, Dr. Jason Lorne strides in, white coat under winter parka. He wants rounds tight, notes tighter. Emily mentions the MAR adjustment. Lorne's eyebrow lifts, which form? She shows the audit screen, a loading bar hangs. It's stuck, she says. He mutters about system lag and moves on. 2 aides exchange glances. By noon, one sentence will become a narrative. Emily altered a medication time. Linda Kravitz, HR, receives an irregular documentation flag forwarded from compliance. Subject line, MAR anomaly, Nurse Carter. The email cites a late-night time correction. Linda prints it red folder for potential discipline, then calls Marisol Vega, Chief Nursing Officer. Policy references clatter across her desk, speak up culture posters behind her, policy binders in front. We must take this seriously, she says, and the phrase becomes a groove. Emily's lunch goes untouched. A charge nurse whispers that HR asked for her badge number. She replays the shift, the fever note, a med time, an entry corrected to match the bar scan. In her mind, she's still in 412, smoothing sheets. A hallway TV rolls weather alerts. It's nothing, someone says. She feels the opposite, like a small wheel starting somewhere she can't see. In the staff lounge, a copier grinds, stops, resumes. Caleb Monroe, union rep, taps Emily's locker. Hear anything? She shakes her head. He says, if HR calls you in, don't go alone. Her phone vibrates. HR at 3:30 p.m., conference room B. The copier jams. A single sheet curls out, MAR correction confirmation 217. Her stomach drops. The hour is wrong. And then the copier stopped humming at 2:17 a.m. Conference room B is cooler than the corridors. A digital clock clicks minutes like a metronome. Linda Kravitz sits with a compliance officer. This is non-disciplinary fact-finding, Linda states. Caleb nods for Emily to breathe. A printout shows a correction at 2:17 a.m. Emily says, that's when the system unstuck. The med was given at 1:17. Linda's pen pauses. Then why does the time show 2:17? Daniel Reed, internal investigator, enters late, cardigan and quiet eyes. We'll request the back-end audit, he says. Linda insists on immediate administrative leave pending review. Emily's throat tightens. Caleb counters, union contract requires progressive steps. Linda opens the red folder, sliding forward a preliminary write-up. Words like falsification and patient safety land heavy. Daniel lifts the page. Where's the full audit trail? We're missing system logs. Whispers ripple through the unit. Dr. Lorne keeps the rounds moving, but his jaw is iron. We can't be exposed, he mutters to the charge nurse, meaning the hospital, not himself. Emily walks the long hall past a safety poster. If you see something, say something. She did. Now she's seen. A phlebotomist asks softly, you okay? Emily says, HR thinks I changed a time. The phlebotomist's eyes say, that is a different charge. The public face starts forming. An email to supervisors references documentation irregularities. Emily's badge is disabled at 5 p.m. She stands outside autolocking doors she's crossed 1,000 times. Her car defroster whines. Curiosity loops tighten. Who changed the timestamp? What's inside the red folder? Why did the copier spit that hour? What does the badge log know? And who benefits from this narrative? Next morning, HR tells Emily she's on paid leave, cannot discuss details. Her mailbox holds a patient thank you card, "You were the calm in my storm." In a separate wing, Linda drafts a values statement about integrity, anticipating questions. Dr. Lorne emails risk management noting that nursing irregularity may intersect with his order set. The phrasing protects him from a problem he privately suspects isn't Emily's. Priya Shah, IT analyst, receives Daniel's request, full EHR audit logs, system latency report, and workstation event history. She frowns. The 2 to 3 a.m. window shows server queue delay. One note is batch applied at 2:17 a.m. The system, not the nurse, timestamped the final write. She flags it and sends a cautious email. In HR, Linda doesn't forward it yet. The red folder grows thicker. The rule he invoked became the proof of his lie. Union meeting. Fluorescent lights, stale coffee, steady voices. Caleb walks Emily through next steps. We ask for progressive discipline, insist on full logs, and caution you not to explain the medicine time to colleagues. Let the process breathe, he says. It suffocates when we rush. Emily nods, but breath comes shallow. Silence is hard when truth wants oxygen. Daniel sits with Priya in a windowless IT room, towers purring. Tell me the story the logs tell, he says. Priya points, heavy queue, latency spike, entries held then batch committed. Her action happened earlier, the system saved later, Priya explains. But policy reads the saved time as action time. Daniel exhales. Policy is misreading reality. He requests printouts. Priya prints 2 sets, one for him, one for whoever tries to bury it. Marisol Vega, CNO, calls a huddle. She speaks calmly, the integrity of charting is non-negotiable. She doesn't say Emily's name, but everyone hears it. A new procedure requires a second sign-off overnight. Nurses glance at each other, another task added to a night that already runs on fumes. A poster goes up near the Pyxis, accuracy first. The implication, someone wasn't. A voicemail blinks on Emily's phone, Howard Bell's sister, Andrea, thanking her for explaining fevers at night. You treated us like people, she says. Emily listens twice. Then she opens her laptop and begins typing a timeline, vitals, meds, the lag, and the exact minute the screen froze. She includes one line she hopes never to need, if a batch save happened at 2:17 a.m., it wasn't my hand moving. Risk management convenes. Lorne sits stiff while Linda recites phrases ethical culture, zero tolerance, and reputational risk. Daniel places Priya's printout on the table. Server latency, he says. Linda's eyes narrow. Our policy doesn't address latency. Daniel replies, the audit trail does. Lorne shifts. Even if it's latency, why was she correcting at night? Daniel, because patients exist at night. Something cracks, too quiet to hear, but there. An email leaks. Subject line, nurse under investigation. It isn't official, just a forward gone wrong. A local reporter, Tessa Quinn, asks for comment. Comms drafts a sterile line, we cannot discuss personnel matters. The silence is gasoline. Rumors ignite, diverting attention from a separate concern Lorne carries, an order set error he quietly fixed after a pharmacist's nudge. If attention stays on Emily, his shadow remains unlit. One detail was always there, buried in plain sight. Priya finds an oddity, a system job named Night Batch EHR ran twice. A failover, she tells Daniel. It retired at 2:17. He circles the time. Meanwhile, Caleb files a formal demand, full logs, workstation events, badge entry times for 1 to 4 o'clock. Linda hesitates, then instructs security to release badge logs, later. The red folder closes with a soft thud that sounds like a door. Emily meets Daniel at a diner off Route 42. Coffee smells sincere. Daniel outlines the latency. We'll need to connect it to policy language. Emily, suddenly angry, says, policy is a person deciding not to look. He asks for her handwritten notes. She slides the timeline across. A bell rings as someone leaves. Outside, snow collects on the world like patient paper gowns. HR drafts a pre-termination letter. Marisol asks to pause until logs arrive. Linda counters with maintaining standards. Daniel requests a meeting with Robert Ellison, CEO. Ellison agrees briefly. In the elevator, Daniel tells himself not to blink. Policy loops are built to make truth dizzy. Late time implies falsification, implies misconduct, implies termination. He will try to break the loop in one clean pull. Priya compiles a report, graphs showing server queue, annotations marking 2:17 a.m., screenshots of the EHR's saving spinner. She adds a note: user action and save time are not always identical. She thinks of night nurses solving life at 3 in the morning while systems sleep. She marks the report draft and sends it to Daniel, CCING her manager, so it can't disappear unnoticed. Daniel rehearses his pitch in an empty conference room. He places the artifacts on the table in his mind: the timestamp, the red folder, the coming badge log. We don't punish physics, he says to the fluorescent lights. We fix policy. He imagines Emily's posture held together by professionalism and sting. He resolves to ask Ellison for something rare: courage, on letterhead. Emily returns to church for the first time since leaving. A bulletin mentions hospital volunteers. She swallows hard. In the pew's quiet, she decides that if this ends badly, she'll still be the person who answers the call lights. Her husband, Mark, squeezes her hand. Outside, sirens mutter. Inside, resolve hardens. She does not pray for victory. She prays for a record that tells the truth. And then the meeting room fell silent. The meeting with Ellison opens like a surgical drape. Linda lays out policy. Daniel lays out physics. Priya's report sits between. Ellison asks, "Can we be certain?" Daniel points to the log sequence. As certain as code gets. Lorne, invited late, says, "Even so, this undermines confidence." Ellison nods slowly. Confidence comes from facts. A small win, barely audible, but a new line on the chart. Projector on. Priya's timeline fills the screen. Entries clustered at 1 to 120, save at 2:17 after the queue clears. Ellison leans forward. So our system stamped the wrong moment. Priya corrects gently, it stamped the save moment. Policy misreads it. Linda writes, frowning. Daniel turns to Emily, your charting aligns with care. Emily's shoulders drop a fraction. The room exhales, a first release valve hissing open. Caleb urges caution, winds can vanish. He pushes for a written hold on any discipline. Linda agrees, reluctantly, while legal rereads policy. Daniel emails Combs, if media asks, say we are reviewing system logs related to timestamped entries. Emily goes home and stands in her kitchen, watching the kettle boil like it learned patience from her. Steam ghosts the window, Winter refuses to blink. Daniel requests HR's internal contents be logged. A clerk wheels in a cart. The red folder arrives like an accusation in color. Inside, the early falsification draft, unsigned witness statement, heard she bragged about fixing times, and an email where Linda proposed swift action to reassure physicians. Daniel notes the missing attachments, IT's early email never filed here. He looks at Linda, she looks at the table. Cost in the corridors. A nurse with 2 jobs texts Emily, they doubled night sign-offs. We're drowning. Another writes, they posted your values email. Emily stares at her phone, anger and guilt dueling. None of this fixes 412's bed sore alarms or the patient who cries quietly at 4 a.m. Systems escalate, people carry it. She writes back, hold the line. Facts are coming. Priya finds an email thread between Risk and Pharmacy noting Lorne's order set correction last month, quietly patched after a near miss. It isn't damning, but it means motive, attention stayed on Emily while another flaw slipped through. Daniel files it discreetly, the point isn't to destroy Lorne. The point is to stop the machine that eats the nearest person. The printer spat out page 44, the one they deleted. Daniel links facts in a memo: latency mechanics, policy gap, red folder omissions, badge data pending, rumor provenance unclear. He recommends, rescind suspension, amend policy to distinguish save time from action time, issue staff education, audit HR filing processes. He CC's Legal and Ellison. He doesn't CC Marisol, he hand delivers a copy. Respect is also a paper trail. Word spreads that a hearing will be public union clause invoked because a termination letter was drafted during leave. Local media circles. Comms polishes lines about commitment to accuracy and learning opportunity. Emily walks past the hospital's glass facade and sees her reflection, tired, steady. She tells Mark, "I want them to see what night work looks like." The silence, the alarms, the saving. Security releases the badge log. Emily's badge in at 1901, out at 7:18, no access to HR or IT. A second profile, temp admin, entered the floor at 2:14 to push a workstation update. The log shows that the update ended at 2:17. Daniel circles it in a blue pen. "There's your ghost in the room," he says. Policy accused the person who never touched the ghost. Lorne isolates, less swagger now. He asks Priya privately, "Will this say I knew?" She replies, "It will say the system batched. What you did with your order set is separate." He nods, then whispers, "Maybe I should say something at the hearing." Priya answers carefully, "Say what's true." He stares at the blinking server lights. Machines don't flinch when humans do. Pre-hearing. A small crowd, nurses on break, a surgical tech with coffee, 2 environmental services workers in green scrubs, Tessa Quinn with a notebook. Caleb reviews ground rules with Emily. Answer, "Don't argue, trust the evidence." Emily inhales, imagining the night's quiet, the way the floor sings. She squares her shoulders. The truth feels like a steady drip, relentless, shaping stone. The hearing convenes under bright fluorescence. Linda states allegations with professional sorrow. Daniel counters with logs. Priya walks through the queue, the 2:17 save, the temp admin update. Gasps are soft but present. Lorne clears his throat. "I initially supported discipline based on policy language. With these facts, I withdraw that support and recommend policy revision." The room recalibrates like a monitor finding a heartbeat again. Every screen froze at once. The audit is now public. Aftershock. Emily steps into the hallway. A CNA touches her sleeve, says, "We knew." Caleb smiles with the corners of his eyes. Linda approaches. "We'll rescind the letter," she says. Emily nods. "Put it in writing." Linda's eyes flicker, then she nods again. Daniel watches the oxygen return to a place that had been holding its breath too long. Public reaction swells. Tessa's article, "Saved by the Save Time, How Policy Mistook Physics," goes live. Comments pour in from night shift workers statewide. An editorial follows: "Hospitals must update policies for digital reality." Ellison authorizes a task force led by Priya and Daniel. The hospital's Facebook page, usually birthdays and bake sales, posts a statement acknowledging a learning moment. Emily visits Howard Bell, now an outpatient PT. He says, "Heard they tried to make you the problem." She laughs softly. "System tried. People fixed it." He lifts his arm, as if toasting with water. "You were there at night. That's all I know." In the parking lot, a winter sun breaks thinly through clouds, weak warmth, but real. She stands in it. Policy draft meeting. Priya writes, "Action timestamp is not equal to save timestamp." Daniel adds, "When in conflict, reference backend event sequence." Marisol inserts training modules. Caleb ensures just cause language shields staff from tech artifacts. Linda, quieter now, proposes routine HR audits of investigative completeness. It feels like a hospital again curing something. Not a person. A process. Outside, sirens rose. Inside, a cursor hovered over restore. The board meets. Ellison presents the findings with a rare admission: our policy punished the wrong variable. Approval passes to revise procedures, notify staff, and issue a public update. He looks across the room to Emily, invited to witness. "Thank you for staying in the room," he says. She replies, "Thank you for making a better one." Relief and reckoning. HR removes the allegation from Emily's file, records a formal exoneration, and adds a note: "No performance deficit found, systemic issue identified." Linda signs it. She looks older today, as if paper has weight. She adds a final sentence: "Apology issued." Small words, but medicine, too. Institutional impact fans out. Nearby hospitals call Priya for guidance on batch saves and latency. A webinar fills in minutes. Nurses write in chats, "We thought it was us. It's the system." Priya smiles at her screen. Engineers rarely get to cure fear. She tells her team, "We didn't just fix logs. We fixed a reflex." Emily returns to her unit. The board with purple magnets says "Welcome back." No confetti, just work. She charts, scans, times, and trusts the audit that now trusts her. A patient jokes about hospital coffee. She laughs, "Here's the hallway breathe." On the whiteboard someone has doodled a tiny timestamp, 2:17, then scratched it out, leaving only a heart. Vindication scene, truth recorded. Tessa airs a televised segment, the hearing clip, Priya's simple graphic, Emily's brief statement: "Night shift deserves policies that see us." Viewers write that their mothers, their sons, their partners work nights, how they blamed themselves for screens that lied. Emily doesn't watch it live. She is in room 412, holding a hand. Restoration. HR invites Emily to co-design a training, when tech and care collide. She hesitates, then agrees on one condition: include a night nurse as co-facilitator every time. Caleb volunteers with others. Marisol nods. Linda listens and takes notes. In a quiet aside, Linda says, "I should have forwarded that first IT email." Emily answers without heat, "Forward the next one." Calm returns. The unit sounds like itself, beeps, jokes, urgent footsteps, soft voices in lonely hours. Emily pauses at 2:17 one night and smiles at the clock. It keeps moving, so does she. The past is recorded, the future readable. The present is a call light and a warm blanket. Reflective pause. Daniel and Priya share coffee in the atrium. "Funny," he says, "how truth looked like a number." Priya answers, "Numbers are just stories told without pronouns." They laugh. Outside, snow is honest, falling where it falls. Inside, a hospital that once preferred certainty now tolerates accuracy. Lessons land. Curiosity loops closed. The 217 was batch save. The red folder carried an incomplete case. The badge log revealed the update. Rumor came from fear. Benefit flowed to the status quo until it didn't. Emily teaches her first class. Slide 1 reads, "WeChat care, not guilt." Room nods. She breathes. In the pre-dawn window, Emily watches snow spiral over the ambulance bay lights, each flake briefly illuminated before finding ground. Inside, a revised policy sits on a bulletin board, initials beside it. She ties her lanyard, hears a monitor settle into rhythm, and steps back into the quiet where lives turn by inches, not headlines. Inspired by true events. Names and details have been changed to protect privacy. If you believe stories like this deserve to be heard, subscribe to this channel and never miss the next case where truth prevails.